Hello, friends. How is everyone? Welcome to the Coaches Show here at Tom's Watch Bar. First off, make some noise. Give yourselves a round of applause. Even if you're not here for the show, clap anyway and act like you are. Great. It's a wonderful Thursday. We're happy that you're here with us. I'm Tarika Foster-Brasby, sideline reporter for the Connecticut Sun, and I'm hosting the show tonight and happy to be joined by head coach Rachid Meziane. What's up, coach?
Hi, thank you.
And we also have assistant coach Ashlee McGee. Hey, Ash.
Hi.
Welcome to the show for the first
I'm so
time.
excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, we definitely have a great show lined up. We're just going to chit-chat a little bit, talk with our coaches, get to know more about them and about the team, and catch up because it's been a while. We haven't had a coaches show since June. I don't know how we skipped July. I think somebody was playing hooky. Were you playing hooky, coach? Yeah, it was coach's fault. Exactly.
Yeah, I was at the pool.
Exactly. He was too busy swimming to be hanging with us. But we are back, and there have been a lot of changes between now and June. So we've got a lot to catch up on. First things first, since the last time we were here, we've had some changes to our roster. And the most notable name is the addition of Aaliyah Edwards. Bunch of UConn fans around here, so no one is upset about the addition of Aaliyah Edwards. But Coach, we'll start with you because we also added Minia Touré, and
right.
she is a French player. Have you coached her before, and what do you like about adding her to the roster?
Yes, I coached her when she was young for her first pro year, and her competitiveness, her talent stood out at this time. And coming in now during this season is not easy for her because everything is already in place. So it takes a lot of adaptability for her. But she brings energy. She creates. She hard defend, and I know her capable of step on the court in any situation and any time.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice here, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but I'm starting to notice that there's a French takeover happening here in Connecticut, right? And I really got to get my French on point because I see the pattern here. Layla, I talked to Layla yesterday, and I was like, girl, I'm going to get my French on point, I promise.
Sure,
But also, again, we added Aaliyah Edwards, and she's been with the team for a few days, and, she told us about how it was such an ordeal sort of like how I've got to catch up with the team on the road and I got to figure out how to fit in and just kind of how it all happened so quickly. But just the time that you've been able to spend with her and seeing how she interacts with the other players, just what do you like about, the energy that she's bringing so far?
In just three games, I have seen that Aaliyah brings a strong defensive presence, and I am really impressed by how quickly she adjusts to our team and what she's bringing on the court because she is physical.
Yep.
And with more practices, she will bring more offensively, just finding her role, and I think that she can be a decision maker for the rest of the season. At the moment, she can practice with us, but how she just adjust herself in the team. Same is not easy for her coming in during the season, a tough season, and I like her fresh energy, her smile. So I hope for her to continue to grow with this team, and we know that she represents the future of the Citizen.
Definitely represents the future, and I'm glad you mentioned her energy and her smile because the entire time we were interviewing her yesterday, Ashlee, she was just smiling the whole time. The entire time. She's like, I'm confident, I'm ready, my coaches believe in me, and you just love that. Like, you can't help but smile because she is. But you had a chance to coach Aaliyah in Washington with the Mystics. Yes. So just kind of talk a little bit about what it was like to coach her in her rookie year, and just what is it that you expect her to bring to the Sun?
Yeah, I mean, Aaliyah is amazing. She's one of my favorite people. I was honored to coach her in her rookie season and see her transition from college to the pro court. And now I'm blessed to have a second opportunity to coach her. So I'm really happy that she's here. She is exactly what you see in the interview. The smile, the bright light, the bright energy is very much who she is consistently, 7 days a week, 24/7. She's just a bright little bubble of just positivity, energy, and just love. And she just plays really hard. She's very competitive. And I think, her being a new addition to this team, she's going to raise our level of competitiveness because it's just innate in her. And you can see how she plays. She's rough and tumble, and she's going to knock people over. But that's who she is. And she's going to show up every day. She's going to give of herself and be a really good teammate. And she's going to make the right decisions on the court and off the court. And just because that's just the person and the competitor that she is. So
I love that so much. I asked her yesterday, I was like, what are you most excited about being back here since, you're familiar with playing in Mohegan? And she was like, well, yeah, that just means I won't get lost because I've been here before. So that's cool. She won't get lost in the building.
No.
She's been here before.
What stands out is how willing she is to do the little things on the court to help the team. I'm very impressed about that.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really great point. But speaking of being new here, Coach McGee, you are technically new here too, right? Technically, it's year one for you. So both of you are experiencing Connecticut. I assume in this capacity for the first time. God bless you.
yes, I know. Yes.
But
It's been rough the other side too.
I
It's been rough the
can
other way.
imagine, right? But you're not new to the W. And
No.
so for those who may not know, your story or where you've come from, you've coached in Minnesota, you've coached in Washington. You are a former player, like you have that experience. What does it mean to you to be able to kind of bring everything that you've learned along the way to what we're doing here in Connecticut?
I think it's actually, this season's really perfect, and that's a really good question because last year when I was with the Mystics, we were in a similar situation where we were doing a rebuild and we were acquiring new young pieces and trying to figure out the direction, and we were losing more than we were winning. And I'm in this kind of mirrored scenario. And so actually, weirdly enough, I think comfortable might be the wrong word to use, but I think maybe more familiar. I'm just familiar with this scenario and what it means. And when you're rebuilding, and I guess rebuild's not a great word, but when you're in a scenario where you've had a lot of change and the change is going to impact you. And you're going to feel that change. It's just how it goes when you shake up new people and personalities and just all those things. You have to remember at the end of the day, it's all about education and making sure that the young ones that are here, that you're molding into to be your foundation for your future, that we're educating and we're teaching, and we're using every single moment to move the needle on their experience and their execution in those moments. And so, yes, our record might say a lot of things, but what's happening is there's a lot of those moments that these rookies have never been in. And then last night was a good example of learning. We had a really big lead, and then learning, they made their run, and that game is a run of ebbs and flows, and they've got to learn how to win. And I think I said it to Pascal on the bench last night. I was like, this is a good lesson that we've got to learn how to keep a lead and maintain it, and then weather the storm, and then pull it out. So, I've kind of been in this scenario before, so I just trust and lean on my experiences at this point.
Love that. I said something similar to Coach Ron right before the interview. I was like, yo, we've been dominating. And I tend to say we, like I'm on the team, like I play.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You are.
I get in trouble sometimes. I'm like, we're doing it. They're like, you ain't put on no uniform. But Coach, bringing Ashlee on to the coaching staff, what was it about her and what she brings to the coaching staff that you were like, she's definitely someone that we want to have a part of the team? Putting you on blast.
Yeah,
Coach.
blast.
I first met Ashlee 3 or 4 years ago.
I think 4. Yeah,
4 years ago
World
when
Cup.
she was working with Team USA.
Okay.
We had a a great connection talking together. We stayed in touch over the years, and yeah, it felt natural for me, to think of Ashlee and bring her on board. So, and I like her experiences, and she brings something different. She has been, scout, video coordinator, and assistant coach, and I knew that she can, connect with the players and be part of our game planning. So she see the game with a different angle through her experiences. So yeah, for me it was really natural to to bring Ashlee on in my team.
That,
So.
Rod. Appreciate that.
There you go. See?
And I won't say that she's very interested by the the NBA, and
Yeah.
and I think that sometimes she can help us to to elevate our games through her main experiences.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's a huge value for me.
I love that. And my next question is more so centered on like coaching philosophies, right? Because I had to ask Coach when he first came, what was your coaching philosophy? What are some of the principles that you stand on? And full transparency, guys, I sometimes get a firsthand look at how these two and Coach Ron and Coach Pascal, because I get a chance to sit in the huddle sometimes, right? And just kind of, look at what's going on, who's saying what they're doing. And one thing I can say is you're always motivating. Like, always motivating. Like, no matter what's going on, Coach McGee's in there like, keep your foot on their necks. We can do it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yes. Like, it's so to add to that, it's just, when do you think about your coaching philosophy and the principles that you want to bring to this team? Like, what are some of those things?
I think of the person first. I think of humans first, because we're very much in the entertainment business. And, at the end of the day, you've got to care about the person. They've got to know that you care about them. And there's got to be a level of trust between the two in order to get something done collectively. And without that, you're not going to have success. And so that is first and foremost for me, personally, my philosophy. And then I would say my on-court philosophy is definitely defensive-minded, because defense, yes, it is a skill, it is a talent, but at the end of the day, it shows me your level of competitiveness and your nature, because a lot of it is just the will, a want to, and the heart and the mindset to do it. And you don't necessarily have to be the most skilled person on the court to play defense. It's just mostly focus and honestly just a want to do it, and to be selfless. I'm always talking about a point guard or a guard or players or people that are giving of themselves.
Yeah.
And the more that you have people that are willing to give than they are to just pull and take away, I think you can have a lot of success. So defense lets me know how hard you play defensively, how willing you are to go the extra mile, make the extra effort for your team or your teammate. It shows me an indicator of what type of player that and person that we're dealing with. And so that's kind of where I do my measurements. Human, how do you play defense? Are you someone that gives? And then the offense, I love offense, but that will come. And I have my player development side of me that can support that side. So yeah, I think those are the marks, the benchmarks that I go through in my mind when I'm thinking about a player, a team, organization, moving forward collectively.
Yeah, those are good. Those are great. And Coach, for you, probably the answer is probably no, but I'm going to ask anyway. Has your coaching philosophy changed at all or shifted at all during this season? I think, maybe we look at what we want to do, and then the ebbs and flows of the seasons happen, and then people show what they're good at or not good at or whatever. So has your coaching philosophy changed at all this season, or still the same?
I know. I don't think that I change, how I want to teach my basketball. I stick with my values and about the team first mentality and defensive effort, like Ashlee said, and sharing the ball offensively, just play together and put the human first. It's I think that it's my philosophy. I didn't change it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same value, putting team first makes a ton of sense. You mentioned overseas and meeting in World Cup, and I know that there's a difference in, at least there's been mentioned a difference in how, lineups change and things are changed in terms of how you coach on an international level versus in the WNBA. But do you feel like that experience has really helped in a situation where Connecticut is new, and so players are constantly, trying to figure out which rotations work best and what starting five works best? Like, how has that experience kind of helped with what the personnel looks like here?
But I want to say that overseas, I used to change my lineups and starters because I think that he allows me to be flexible, and to find some matchup advantages. So and let the opponents guessing, and for sure just to make some competition, among our players, and they have to push themselves, to elevate their game, okay, to be in the starter. So I think that I can, migrate this approach to the W, because first of all we are young teams, and just try to, like I said, involve everyone. And sometimes we think about the defensive matchup, but I would like to think, differently, and maybe more dictating, and just not start a game with a offensive matchup. So yeah, like I say, I want to stick to my plan, and we will evaluate everything at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Same kind of question, but just maybe a little differently, having had the opportunity to kind of see how coaching works against international competition. What are some maybe differences or similarities that you've seen?
Well, you're definitely, when you're at the World Cup, the team that you're going to bring is the elite of the elite, the veterans. You're just not going to see a lot of inexperience in those scenarios. You're going to be able to execute defensively a lot of coverages that might be a little bit more high level, different ATOs and plays that might be a little more high level, because you've got the tools, the players that can fit those scenarios. More in the pros, you're going to have to be able to develop. You're going to have to be able to, and specifically player development, especially on the court, because you have rookies and you have inexperienced players. I think I was talking to Pascal in Golden State. I said it was at some point in the game, and we were still within, I think, 6 to 8 points. And I looked over at him, and it was his scout, and so he's really, competitive. But I tapped him on the knee and I said, "Hey, coach, I just want you to remember, you're looking the five out there. Take a look." And it was like Layla, Minya, Olivia, maybe Aaliyah, and I don't know, maybe Sanaya, I don't know. But the point that it was rookie, sophomore, and then Liv, who's still as young when it comes to experience of her actually being on the court. Yes, she's been a part of championship teams, but actually being on the court for extended minutes of time. And so the five that we were looking at, and he kind of was like, "You're right. You're talking about 21, 22-year-olds, kids, that are playing against, sure, a team of 6th, 7th, 8th men, as they call themselves, but those are players that have a ton more experience, And so we had that moment, and that's kind of what you're going to get in the pros. You're going to have to be able to develop. You're going to have to be able to build those relationships internationally. When you get those little small tournaments, those are quick. Everyone's on their best behavior. You don't have to worry about the relationship piece. You're in, you're out. It's a job, it's a business, and mostly they're going to do their job, win, and go home. And so that's kind of the difference.
I love that, and that's a very good point, the experience piece when you're playing in those scenarios that obviously those players are way more experienced and been doing it for a lot longer. Kind of quick throw out here. We have, on the broadcast team at least, we have dubbed Sanaya, Layla, Aaliyah, and who am I missing? Anissa. We have dubbed them the Core Four. That's what we call them. Have you guys ever seen Stranger Things?
No,
When they're the Core Four, they're the ones that survive every season. So that is what we call them. We have dubbed them the Core Four because it clearly appears to us that is who the central pieces of the future of the W and of Connecticut Sun basketball, what that looks like. You talk about them being rookies and being new, but are there moments where you kind of just sit back to yourself and, I know it may be hard sometimes when you're very close in games, but just when you're playing with people who are so new and so fresh and just kind of feel like they're really happy to be here and really happy to learn. Like, are there moments where you kind of feel maybe excited about what the future could look like and what their potential is and their development? Like, do you just get excited about maybe coaching a young group?
Yeah, for sure. And I like, teach basketball, and so I think it's easier to teach, basketball to young players. But yeah, I am someone very optimistic. So just think about the future and what can be just our baseline, our standards. So yeah, excited me. So yeah, I am. Yeah, I like them. I like see them on the court fighting and playing at the highest level. It's something very fun, and to just be connected to them and to be part of to their story.
Yeah, no, for real. And Sanaya has to be the most unserious person I know in the world, right? She's completely hilarious. And I often see on social media, there's the half-court shot competition. Everybody's trying to win the money. They're competitive. I'm trying to get mine up, too. You just wait till I show up, shoot around, give me the rock. But are there other little fun things that, they do competitively to kind of keep it light and keep it fun, like with each other?
What do they do together that's competitive? I don't think they do things that are like competitive. I think they do more things like collectively.
Yeah, okay.
They seem to be doing like they'll like plan different outfit looks or they go shopping together. Those the core groups, they love going shopping and they just have a blast like doing that together. They just do more things like together and not like really in competition against each other, but like they spend a lot of time together and they have a good time. I know Anissa and Sanaya though on the game day when they shoot the half court shot are always like trying to steal each other's money. So that's like become like a thing. Like if one makes the shot, then the other one's like sneaks behind.
What's your bread?
You mean my money?
Yeah, well, sorry, Rachid's money. Yeah,
Rashid's money.
it's Rachid's money. They will try to steal each other's money, and they're kind of cute though. They're fun. They just have fun.
That's so funny. I can imagine Liv being the one that's like leading the way to the shopping because she's the fashion girl.
Well,
She's the
actually,
model.
Liv is the one trying to get them to gamble it more because he'll always offer a gamble, like a secondary, like.
There you go.
Well, here's the second option. Liv's like, yeah, do it, and they never want to listen to Liv.
It's like, let's make a deal, right? When you win, and then you're like, you can bet it back.
Liv's always trying to make a deal, which I think is so funny.
I absolutely love that. Speaking of Sanaya is really killing it right now from a statistical standpoint. She was the first rookie with 45 steals and at least 25 blocks in a game. She was sitting in that category with Nafisa Collier and Asia Wilson, which is what a category, what a group of people to be in. And then as if that wasn't enough, she decides that she wants to block a 6'7" post player and Camila Cardoso. And I'm on the sideline like, gosh, I am not supposed to be excited over here, but like that's bananas that she's able to do that. And then she knows it. Like she feels that defense is the way to go. Defense is like what can be her bread and butter. So, Coach, I'll start with you because I'd love to hear from both of you. What do you want to continue seeing from Sanaya that can like keep her trajectory going in the way that it's going?
I would like to see her, playing with this great defensive instinct because I think it's what she is, playing with energy, playing with some enthusiasm. For sure, I would like to to her to improve her offensive game because I think she's capable of do better, and improve her game in different area, her 3-point shooting ability, for example. But I think that when the time comes to, if she finds confidence, she can be a great player. But how defensively, she's playing with instinct. Like you said, she didn't. She wasn't shy to go to block, 6-7 players. So just play with without overthinking and just be yourself.
Yeah, play without overthinking, for sure. And for you, you just talked about defense intensity and how important that is. What does that tell you about Sanaya?
Well, I mean, she has an innate ability to be up in pressure, and she can, her hands are really, really quick, and her instincts are really, really on point. I think as a rookie, she plays in these short bursts and these like electric bursts. And I, as a coach, would love to push her and kind of push that needle to get her to play in more of sprints. So bursts versus a longer sprint is more realistic of a change, and she's capable of playing at that speed and that intensity. But understand that she can play longer for longer bursts and a longer sprint. I think that would really help the team and make sure that she's growing in the right direction as well.
Yeah, same thing with Anissa. Second most rebounds of all rookies this season. Then you have Layla, who was in the top 5 rookies in steals. Just the two of them, I've said multiple times, and other people have said it too, that the energy that Layla brought defensively when she came, it was one of those things where we often talk about impacting the game that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. Like, Layla feels like she brings that. And then Anissa, the way she crashes the board, we were laughing yesterday because Angel Reese tweeted that she was so upset that she wasn't playing because she said, I am just getting so mad at Nice getting those boards with that aggression, right? She's like, she's doing that because I'm not there. And just the competitive nature, but you can see how badly she wants to be good and how much she wants to get better. Just kind of talk about, both of you, just the development that you're seeing from a player who couldn't start the season due to injuries, but is kind of starting to find her stride as we get closer to the end here.
It's just, it was one of the main things at the beginning of the season for us was we saw her in college, we saw her potential and that energy that she played with, but we knew that her body wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And so we had a really hard decision, and she agreed, and we're like, hey, let's get you healthy because we know what you can do. And then you forget, well, there's that little point where, like, okay, now my body's back. Okay, now I got to put my body and my mind together. Yep. So it just was a rough start, I think, for her. But you can kind of see her growth, and now her body and her mind are now kind of meshing and becoming one. And she's learning, and she's that competitive drive in nature is just unstoppable. It's just a flame that just can't be doused. And it's something that our team needed, and she brings that consistently. And, she's only going to continue to get better because she is competitive, and she does want to be whatever she wants to be. And I think as long as she has that drive, she'll reach the stars. Sky's the limit.
For sure, for sure. Coach, I ask you about Anissa every game. Every game I always ask, so Niece, how's she doing today? What's the development like? So it's a repeat question for me, but not for them. So when you think about her development, what do you like, and has she met your expectations so far?
She responds well because, like I said, since the beginning, she brings something that we don't have to teach. Her energy, her effort, and because I want the best for her, I think that she can improve. Her game I think tactically. I think tactically, because if she, understand how to play with her teammate, to understand how she has to space on the floor and work on her shot selection, I think she can just, how we can say, improve her offensive game, But defensively, she takes pride of with her 1-1 defense, and she takes pride to rebound, and her defensive presence is an example, and she push everyone around her to do the same thing. So she's a good example.
Love that. Yeah, this team can definitely be a team that solidifies a defensive identity just because of the way that so many people take pride in their defensive effort and energy. So it's a really good thing to have. It makes you excited about the future of Connecticut Sun basketball. So before we get into our fan questions, I have a couple of announcements. So Sunday, the Connecticut Sun is going to take on the Indiana Fever at 1 o'clock. It's the final matchup between these two teams. So we hope to see you there. There may also be a birthday party happening. Just saying. On Thursday, August 21st, the Sun is going to be hosting Back to School Night. It's presented by BuildSubmarines.com. And so the team is going to be taking on the Washington Mystics at 7 o'clock. But youth and fans that come will actually get a glimpse into some of the best career paths in STEM. So visit there'll be like vendors that are going to be there pregame, so you can visit the vendors to stimulate your mind with some brain teasers and some games and some things that they'll have within the STEM industry. And there will also be some fans in attendance that will receive a lunch bag. So buy your tickets, come play some games, and get free stuff. But last but not least, if you would like any additional information on what the Sun are doing or how to be involved, you can just visit the Sun website at sun.wnba.com. So, fan questions. This is the fun part because I have no control over what people are asking. So I will give this question to you, Coach. Is there different expectations from Sanaya when she's coming off the bench versus when she's starting?
I don't think that we have a different expectation from her. We want her, to be the best version of herself, starting the game or coming off the bench. I just think that, because every players, are going through tough moments during the season, and I think that for her now, coming off the bench, just take out some pressure on her shoulder, and we can just see and recognize that coming off the bench, she's playing well. So right now she's playing better coming off the bench instead when she starts, the game. So it's not about, start the game or coming off the bench. It's just about how the volume of minutes you play. And right now she's playing a lot of minutes and playing well. So.
Yeah, no, facts. So, no, that makes sense. I will give this one to Ashlee. What is one thing that you have instilled in the team since you arrived that you are proud of? And what is one thing that you would like to see them improve on by the end of the season?
One thing that I've instilled, I think a laugh, a joke. I'm always finding a little moment to make a little laugh or have, something so not so serious. Because I think as competitors, we do work, we don't like to lose. No one likes to lose. But at the end of the day, you do have to remember that it is an experience and it is a different path. And you can't lose sight of what you're responsible for in the moment just because you're losing it. That's not the end goal. The end goal is to lay a foundation. And so I try to bring a little bit of, maybe unseriousness at times. But that's fine, we have a good time, we laugh. And then the last part was
one thing that you would like to see them improve on by the end of the season?
Honestly, I think I would love to see our young players be able to go from a timeout to what's on the board to executing in ATO scenarios to get off a shot that we need. I would really love to see us execute better out of those scenarios. And those just come with practicing and reps. We don't, obviously our travel schedule doesn't allow us to practice a lot, so our games are where we practice a lot of times. And I would love to see them be able to just have really a lot of success out of those moments.
I love that. Yeah, practice time is a privilege that everyone does not get once you get to the WNBA, and there's 44 games. Coach, this one is about Ono. They asked, what has gotten into Olivia? She's so locked in the last 10 games. Would love to know your thoughts. So, what's your thoughts on Olivia?
She starts the season very well, and I think, like I said, every player is sometimes going through tough moments, and I think she had this time, but right now, coming off the bench, she's playing well, and she's helping the team how we want it to. So by through her defensive presence and also offensively, and I think that she's playing smartly, understand when she has to shot the ball or pass the ball or just be on the court to screen and create advantages for our teammates. So I think it's just a balance. But yeah, defensively, how she blocks her, she use her lens, and she's very mobile. And sometimes she wants to be everywhere, and she wants help every and everyone when it's not her her responsibility to help. So she still has to improve her game, but she's generous, and she won't give if everything she has. So yeah, and she's a great person. I like Olivia, and she very respectful and a hard worker. So I wish her a lot of success with
I
us.
love that. Yeah.
With us.
No, yeah, she's definitely overeager, and you love that about her. All right. Let's see. Back to you, Coach McGee. Does your team goals change from game to game? So, plus rebounds, steals, holding your opponent to a certain field goal. Like, is there a certain goal this is the goal every game, or does it change depending on the opponent?
I think it does. Some do change depending on the opponent, because some are three-point shooters, some are more of a paint team, some are more transition, some are more half-court team. So some of them do change based on who you're playing, but then we have our own goals. At this point, we are focusing a lot on ourselves and trying to make sure that every game we are getting better at things that we haven't had success with. And those have been consistent, but as we've gotten better, we have moved the needle a little bit on a few things. I think the biggest thing for us was energy, effort, consistency, and then our pick and roll defense. And I thought I told her last night, I told her after the game, I said, hey, I thought you were stellar.
Yeah.
I really, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you. I know she doesn't mind me telling, but to the point of, she's got to be at the level of the screen every single time. Yeah. And last night she was. Yeah. And that's what happens when she decides that she's going to do it and be determined and get it done for our team and sacrifice. And, we had success last night. So that was a good example of just, hey, we're going to focus on us. We're going to get this done. And we got it done last night.
Yep. Speaking of pick and rolls, Tina Charles and that pick and pop last night, I was like, girl, how are you doing this at 36? That's crazy. Right. Like, what? Coach, you're going to love this question. How is your family? That's the question.
My family is with me now, so no, they are okay, they are good, and we spend a lot of times together. I was lucky because I could bring them with me during the road trip. Okay. So yeah, we visit Los Angeles, San Francisco, Phoenix. So it was cool to have them with me, and they are enjoying. But my son just put more pressure on me because he said, "Hey, Dad, I'm coming to watch the game, but I want to see you win the game." So I say, so I have enough pressure on my shoulder, so calm.
We don't need
I don't need more. But no, they are happy, and sometimes we forgot that the most important thing in the life is just to have healthy people around us.
Yes.
And so I
love that. No, love that. Because sometimes you do have to level set, right? Like, it can't be basketball all the time. So definitely got to take a moment for family. Last question I have here is, in what aspects is European basketball different from basketball here, or do you train them the same as in Europe? So we kind of answered this a little bit when we talked about like coaching styles differently, but I would assume that the training for basketball is the same no matter where you play basketball, right? But you let me know. Is the training a little differently?
WNBA and overseas, has a lot of similarities. So it's all about teaching fundamentals, build the chemistry, and prepare players and prepare a team to compete at the highest level. The differences are maybe on the type of play. We play with more short plays, with more short set plays. When in Europe you used to play with more long set plays, and the physicality is very different, and the physicality for sure, because the WNBA is the biggest league in the world, so we have a lot of talent here, less in Europe, but Yeah, I won't say the main difference for me. It's the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, the volume of game, not the numbers of game, but how stacked the games are. The back-to-backs, it's something we don't have in Europe. Yeah, and so for sure the strategic rotation is different, and
Yeah.
how you have to manage the load of players.
Yeah, load management for sure is different. Back-to-backs is getting with everybody this year, but hopefully that we'll see some changes with that soon. Fingers crossed. But with that being said, guys, we have one order of business left, and that is announcing who our jersey winner is today. And today, drum roll please, David Huber. Woo! I see you back there, Dave. Wait for the friends. There you go. That's our jersey winner. Come on up here. Kat has the jersey, I believe. Yeah, you get to take a picture with Coach. Oh, you already got your jersey on. I know that's right. You already got the jersey on.
That's awesome.
There it is. There he is. Congratulations. There you go. All right. Well, everyone, that concludes our Coaches Show for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back in September for our final Coaches Show of the year. But until then, I hope to see you guys on Sunday. Peace out, y'all.
See you soon.